This is a short descriptive video about a hybrid flip alarm clock by Copal. Hybrid of sorts, as in this clock is a combination of two clocks, and the clockwork and the lighting essentially came from Copal LP245. Which for all of you non-flip-flop nerds out there is one of the few flip-flops made by Copal that had UV blacklight in them. And that clock had a case that was so bad I couldn't really do a whole lot to it to make it better. Believe me, I tried, but the end result ended up being almost worse than it was. And I had Copal RP240 laying around that needed some work as well, and the RP240 and the LP245 are essentially the same, be it for the lighting, the flaps and the lighting, I must say. So the difference is the font in the flaps and the color of the flaps. The color has to do with the UV black light, and the font, I suppose, just makes it look more interesting. I don't know why they changed the font. So what I did is I put the innards of the LP245 in the case of the RP240, and I kept the motor of the RP240, which is running 100% A-OK, just perfect, which is 100 to 120 volts and 50 or 60 hertz because it came from Japan. There's a switch. You can select 50 or 60 hertz. If you want to use it in Europe or Australia or in the UK, for example, you can set the switch to 50 hertz and use a proper voltage converter only. If you want to use it in US, for example, you just set it to 60 hertz and you can just plug it in because this clock has a US plug. So I cleaned and lubricated the motor. It got a brand new lighting system on the inside. It was a custom-made transformer and UV blacklight LEDs. It got a brand new cable, a brand new plug. Everything was cleaned on the inside. The crystal here was polished, cleaned and polished. The case was cleaned and polished. The case is in a kind of a rare color for the RP240, which is blue. It does have a little bit of discoloration on it, but from my experience, it's kind of hard to get the discoloration to remove it from a colored casing. I've had some bad luck with that in the past, so I'm still looking into it, but at the moment I'm not doing it because my experience is that it only gets worse if you try it. The chance of it getting worse is too high for me to try it in this case, because it actually looks very acceptable. It does have a tiny bit of damage here. It does tend to happen every once in a while. This is where the top of the case hooks onto the bottom of the case. This just snaps off. It doesn't affect it at all because it's still snapped on here, and there's two large screws in here, so this doesn't move at all. That's kind of it as far as wear and tear and or damage that I have to mention. The clock is running perfectly fine, and as I said, it has an alarm clock. So with the switch on top, you turn the alarm on. It's marked on and off, so that's very easy. On or off. The two wheels on the side, the smaller wheel as usual is to set the time. That goes clockwise like that. And the alarm, the large wheel is for the alarm, and that usually goes anti-clockwise like that. And by doing this, you turn this wheel, and the alarm wheel, and you can either check let me see, where are we? There you go. If you want to test the alarm, you do it like that. And there's a small viewing window on top there where you can see the whirligig, or the flywheel for the flip-flop motor. You can see it spinning. I guess that's kind of handy to troubleshoot if your clock isn't working, but I mean, if you're not a mechanic or a horologist, whatever you want to call it, and your clock has stopped working, I mean, what can you do? Anyways, this clock is restored and ready to go, and will of course be for sale in my flip clock shop. Link will be located below the video. You have any questions, let me know. Thank you for watching.